All right, we're loading, should be on live fairly soon. All righty, we're in business. Okay, Chairman, the floor is yours.
Hey, thank you. So we'll call the meeting to order for Southern Guam Soil Water Conservation District, regular board meeting. Today's Wednesday, July 17th, 2024, and the time is 4:19 p.m. We're conducting it in person as well as on Zoom here at the University of Guam College Natural and Applied Sciences Building, room 202. Yvonne, can you do a roll call?
Chairman Michael Uggan,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Glenn Tapai.
He's traveling, but he is trying to log on, but he's having to, so we'll hopefully make it go.
District Director Glenn Dulo.
Here, present.
District Director Yvonne Mendoza, present. District Director Martha Tenorio.
Director Marty informed that she'd be late. She started a new schedule, so but she'll make it in right after she gets off.
So she'll be coming in person.
Yes.
So we do have a quorum, and we'll proceed, can finish off the attendance.
So now we have our staff, District Administrator Erica Pangolinan,
Present.
Program Support Specialist John Tanubasa,
Present.
Conservation Technician Madeline Flores, present.
And
And our UOG advisor, Mr. Mark Acosta.
Okay, so before we get started, I'd like to say welcome to Mark Acosta. Officially, we were informed that he is our advisor for the Southern District, so welcome aboard. Finally, we've been requesting for a while. Okay, we'll move on to the next thing is acceptance of the meeting agenda, which was published there. So I need a call to accept the agenda.
I motion to accept the agenda.
I second.
As published in the Daily Post. Okay, Yvonne second. Okay, thank you. Without objection, it's considered passed, accepted. Thank you. Moving on to the next one, approve of the meeting minutes for June 19th, 2024.
I make a motion to approve of the meeting minutes from June 19th, 2024.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you guys. Again, without any objection, we'll so move. Okay, thank you. Moving on to treasurer's report. Erica, I think Martha is not yet here to do that. Should we move on or you want to?
I do have the bank account balances that I can share with the board if that's okay.
Yes.
And I did work with Director Martha on this. So as of July 17th, 2024, our general fund account with the Coast 360 is 62,362.66. Our 201 account, which is our stress grant account, is at 19,958.03. Our TA 2023 grant account is 11,000 and $97.90. Our feral swine account is 14,435.36. And the GACD technical assistance grant from 2020 or 2020 TA grant is 23,828.86.
What was that last? Chair?
That's the GACD technical assistance grant. Technical assistance 2020
2020?
round, yeah.
Okay, can we accept the treasurer's report as presented?
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Without any objection, so moved. Moving on, old business, item A, 2024 Next Generation Leadership Institute cohort. I think Glenn Takai is the president right now to talk about it. But we did discuss his travel and agreed to support that travel and to be reimbursed from NACD. So, yeah. So I guess we can move on that one. Erica, is there anything, there's nothing there to accept or to vote on, right? No?
Not at this time, but as you mentioned, he will be traveling, Director Takai will be traveling September to attend his mid-session for the NGLI. Mid-year session.
Okay, move on to B, NACD's technical assistance program.
Okay, Director, so just a quick update. We do have a report that is due, quarterly report that's due July 20th for both the TA 22 round and TA 2023. Just a couple of updates in regards to the TA 2023. No movement yet on the MOA with NRCS. However, John as well as Maddie are both Earth Team Volunteer status, which would allow them to work out of the NRCS office until their security clearances pass. However, at this time, Jay hasn't yet informed that we could start reporting into the office. So it's been quite a while. Corey Hiroshima from NRCS, she did request a meeting to discuss this MOA. So I will keep the board informed as to when this meeting will take place. But as of right now, both Maddie and John specifically, since he's under this grant, has been working to learn the different USDA programs. Both Maddie and John have already conducted site visits, and a lot of our time and effort has been dedicated to coordinating a number of outreach events that are upcoming. So John did attend a meeting with NRCS, so I'll go ahead and turn the floor over to him to report on that for the board's further discussion.
Okay, so with that meeting, I just caught the tail end of it, but we talked about the date is gonna be October 17th. And I reserved the community center in Inarahan for us. I'm just waiting for the email back, but they did confirm that it's available. So I did reserve that, and we talked about if we can help them with refreshments and stuff like that for the one in the south, and then I guess we're working together on the central one with I guess it's like everybody together on the central one, but that's mostly what we talked about. I kind of came into that meeting late because we just came back from the was it Infinite Prog place for the raised beds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was when I just got into the end of it, but that's pretty much what we talked about. But I'm just trying to get that email so I can send it to Erica to fully confirmed, but yeah, so the date's available, 17th of October. And I think it's, I'm sorry, I have notes. It's 6:30.
What is this? This event for?
For NRCS, and it's outreach. Yeah, so it's gonna be on October 17th, the mayor's office. There's gonna be one in Dedado, and then they're not sure the central one yet. They're trying to reach, the lady emphasized that from Hawaii that they want to reach new people. Is a big part of it. They don't want to see like the same people. And she mentioned something about marketing, but like I came in the tail end of the meeting, so I wasn't sure if she was talking about us or like with Jay, but they want to market it, and yeah, they really want to see new people. That's pretty much what I got, because wasn't there the whole.
Thank you, John. For the record, Mr. Chair, Director Glenn Takai has joined the meeting.
All
Oh.
right.
Or he was on, I swear, but I guess maybe he had lost connection. So when he pops back in, I'll let you know. So just to kind of reiterate, NRCS, the state leadership team, they're planning a big kind of outreach event here in Guam. It's their effort, so they plan to come out in October. So they're asking the assistance of both the North and the South to coordinate some outreach events, one in a northern location, one central, and one southern. So we are taking the lead in helping coordinate the logistics for the southern venue, in which John was able to take care of. They threw out some dates. They said October
15, 16, 17. And sorry, it's
Yeah.
7:30, but I reserved it 4:30 to 7:30 so that we have 1 hour if we need to set up. But it's 5:30 to 7:30
And like you said, that was the Enron Community Center.
in Rohan Community Center. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So being that the 16th is our regular scheduled board meeting in October, as it's the third Wednesday of the month, we're proposing the 17th, which is a Thursday, to host the southern located event with NRCS. So we just wanted to throw it to the board to see if that's okay. I guess, John, I think according to the agenda, they're really just going to talk about the districts, or the districts will introduce who they are, what they do, and then NRCS will come in and talk about their different programs.
Yeah, and soil health also. They're focusing also on soil health too.
So, Erica, so that's just the NRCS site, not NACD?
Right, yes, this is their own kind of outreach effort that I guess the state leadership is putting together in an effort to try to recruit more participants and new participants.
Like emphasizing that it's important. The lady in Hawaii.
What was that?
The lady in Hawaii was really emphasizing it's important to get new people
Yeah.
into it, and like more people qualified for the programs, I guess.
Who is that, Erica? You got, remember her name?
I wasn't on that specific meeting. Sounds like Corey, to be honest, but it could be somebody else. I can find out. We can find out, right, John?
Okay, so I know we're gonna handle the Inarohan event, right? And Northern will handle, wherever they're handling theirs, but, so what about the central one?
So I think it was proposed Sinahanya would be the central, and I guess we'd co-host that and share whatever costs associated. But yes, the Sinahanya was identified as the central location, and that we just kind of work together in facilitating that.
That's when they first come in, right?
Yes, in the beginning, according to the agenda, we give the whole introduction about who the districts are, what we do. So we just have to coordinate that presentation with the North.
Yeah, so this is a really big thing for Guam again, right? Man, I think we've been doing pretty good. We got the past president and we're having the next one coming in, but also we're having NRCS's chief coming in, which he didn't make it last time. And that's a big thing for us here that they're coming out. So I would really, you guys make sure you can clear your. We really gotta show force here and really let's work this, man, because I think this is gonna benefit us in all the things that we're doing going forward. Once they come here and they see how things work here and, you know, and the needs that we have and, you know, it's gonna be big. Right, Erica?
Yeah, so I think Chairman, right, so yes, there is a big visit from the chief of NRCS and the president of NACD. They'll be coming to Guam in September. So we are gearing up for that special appearance. But this what we're talking about with the central location and the northern and south location, sorry, Mr. Chair, is going to be happening in October.
Yeah.
So it's totally same but different.
And yeah.
I know he's so excited, but
Anything going on with
Yeah,
that?
we have a lot of stuff. Okay, so maybe we have a calendar to visualize all of our.
Yeah, that would be great. That would help.
yeah, we have a lot.
This month.
Okay, so with that being said, October 17th, we've locked in that venue already. And we'll keep the board informed as we know more information of what's expected. Other than providing cultural support. Okay,
Okay. So we're moving on to C. GACD's Technical Assistance Program.
okay, so Mr. Chair, did you want to speak to that or? Okay.
So, wait. So anyways, GACD, and Yvonne, you're aware of what's going on with GACD. Mark. So anyways, I've been meeting with the Northern Chair, Joe Santos, and our previous advisor, Dr. Barber. And we will be having another meeting next week, I believe, or the August 2nd. Anyways, we're gonna be meeting to go over this whole GACD thing, the financial and all that, about the funding. We're not final. I did tell them that we're gonna move on. We're gonna go our way, and that's up to them what they want to do with their whatever funding. But we do need to close out, so we got to make sure we return all the money and get everything squared away before we get up. And I know there are some stuff we're due, right? And just trying to finish it up, and then we move on.
Right. So just to add to that, we had 2 grants with GACD, so we've already closed out the TA 2020 grant, and like Chairman mentioned, we'll be meeting with Dr. Bob and Mark, as well as the North, to close out, to review and officially close out this 2020 grant and get the reimbursements to each district accordingly. Now we also had the TA 2021 grant funding, in which it was in the amount of $80,000. At the initial, the South, we were willing to kind of manage the whole grant in partnership with the North. But it was recommended and decided that it was maybe best that we just equally split the grant funding between the districts, so 40,000 to the north and 40,000 to the south with their own separate MOAs with NACD. So now this grant funding that I'm talking about expires September 30th of this year. So it's a very small window to expend all of this money, but the South, we've been really wanting to push forward a board capacity and staff training. I think that's one of the big projects that we've been advocating for. So this technical assistance grant will be solely focused or dedicated to hosting that board capacity and staff training in September, when the chief, as mentioned earlier, from NRCS and the president of NACD visits Guam. So what we've done is we've submitted a very simple budget of how we are going to expend the 40,000 to host this training, as well as an amended scope. So I believe Chessa from NACD just sent back some requested revisions, and we can move forward. But we are already in the works of coordinating this board capacity training. So we do have some dates, and I just want to make sure that I'm not going to be talking about it over and over again, but we will discuss it more during the NACD leadership visit to Guam. But as far as the board capacity training is concerned, we're looking at hosting it on the 23rd and the 24th. It's a 2-day training. We're looking at getting a facilitator in, and then also providing stipends to our neighboring islands, so that way they can come to Guam and also attend the board capacity training. So is this something that the board is wanting to support, or is there any questions before we move further on? I know I've shared the proposal with the board recently, as we're gearing up to amend and acquire the 40,000 for this venture. So I'd like to open it up to the board to kind of talk about any recommendations or expectations. Also and that includes Mark, any input there on our
Yes.
plans.
A big event for us too, right? We've been asking for this board training for a while. Glenn Takai's not here, but he was a big part of that also. And we're trying to put it together, and obviously it looks like we're doing it ourselves, right, Erica? And so how many outer island people are we looking, other island, how many are we looking at one per?
Yeah, so based on the conversation with Caleb, the group, we were kind of recommending that we'd fund up to 4,000 for each island. So how they kind of use that funding to attend would really be up to them, but since it's a stipend. And then that would include American Samoa, Hawaii, CNMI, FSM, Palau. So a stipend for those 5 different islands. Did I leave anybody out? Did I leave any other islands out? I think we covered them.
Are Marshall's included in that? Marshall Island.
I'm not sure if the marshals are included, but I can clarify. But yeah, I just got those, the five.
So this is good for us too, because being way out here in the west of the city, we're able to get these outer island, groups to come in here. And, you know, we'll give them a little taste of what we do and what NECD is all about and, you know, all that, and hopefully we can bring them into our organization and, because they used to be active participants, but they dropped off, so. It would be nice to try and get them back. This is one way to do it. And we're showing our leadership too, and you see what we're doing out here. So, you know, and I think they're really liking that we've been working on, so.
I did have a question. So the 4,000, because I know that you're giving that across the board, how many people would that bring out from each island? Because I think the Palau is pretty expensive for Guam, like 1,000. Pretty
Yeah.
expensive. So I know not all the islands will have the same prices. And in terms of the conservation district, like how many POCs do they have? And if they don't come out, are they just keeping the 4,000? And if they do RSVP and they're able to, you know, just zoom in, is it gonna be hybrid? I guess that's my question. I don't mind them using it for their own capacity, but if we're designating travel for them to come out and they don't come out.
Well, the stipends for traveling, right?
Yes, essentially that's what it would help, the stipend is to help offset their travel costs, but those are very valid questions. But I could definitely ask Caleb how that would go. I know NACD has a similar stipend program, to help like employees of the technical assistance grants attend the annual meetings. So I can look into how they have it and maybe a reimbursement type setup or
But do we need to vote on this overall thing?
You need the break. I know you gave a proposal, right, for the budget breakdown. I only see 5,000 in here for travel.
yeah, so it's kind of tricky just because this specific grant is set up to fund majority staff time. But because this is such a unique type of conservation technical assistance program, in where we're developing board and staff capacity, NACD is looking to work with us on whatever budget categories we need.
Approving the budget that was submitted.
Let me bring up the,
I'm looking at the proposal as well as the budget.
Okay.
So this was from the email that was sent on July 1st. So
yes.
have the draft proposal, the I think I did ask the question for the draft proposal about certificates and some kind of certification for this training, because 40,000 is a lot for a training, and it would be great if if you guys and other people can walk away with certification they can use to add to their resumes and or to. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? Like a national certification type thing.
I can definitely bring that up to the facilitator that we are looking at working with, who is very much experienced in working with many other conservation districts and facilitating board capacity trainings on the type of certificates. I know from the initial conversations that we had, the most important thing that we want each district to take away from this is something that they want to take away from this, if you know what I mean, and back to their districts or even back to our district. So I think Caleb mentioned maybe putting out some sort of survey or feeler in the beginning to kind of to get an idea of the type of capacity training or skill training that the districts want to see. Yeah, $40,000 is a lot, and it's also not a lot for what we're trying to accomplish here in such a short time.
Okay, all right. I think those were just my only questions.
Yeah, but that's definitely, and then I think we were looking at having a 4-day, but it's maybe a 2-day training might be beneficial. Yeah, I know it says 3 to 4 day. And I think, yeah, so I don't know if the board is on board with the stipends. Being that's gonna take a big chunk of the budget. Leaving,
What else are we gonna use it for if we don't do that? At this point,
well, definitely the meeting venue itself could be a major expense. Bringing on a facilitator would have an expense as well, I imagine. But those are the main.
I think if we can do it, we should.
I think Director Avon is correct in making sure that when we do these stipend arrangements, that there's some sort of commitment. I don't know if has the other directors or Mark, have you offered stipends to other islands are you familiar with this type of setup?
Yes, so I conducted the Western SARE annual meeting here, bringing all state coordinators as well as the admin council over here. However, that money comes from SARE, so think of it coming from the Southern District. It's pretty much getting everyone's information, who's gonna be coming in, and who's the one who's gonna be in charge of purchasing tickets. You're gonna have to think about per diem as well. But that's all gonna be based on the participants of the state. But for in regards to getting a commitment, usually it's based on for us, it was all went to the university, so it's based on their trip reports upon return to the home island. But you could create a letter of commitment for them if they do accept this money from you, that they are going to attend the conference over here. But as in regards to when they get back to their island, I'm not too sure how much commitment can you ask from them. There's a lot of these guys that are just going to be reintroducing them back into the organization, and I don't know if we can have them commit to joining right away, but at least for the capacity, we will just bring them to island. And I'm just thinking about time and how much money I need to spend in a short period of time. I think this is the most logical way to move forward, because you're going to spend a lot of money again, not just on the travel per diem. That'll be a huge chunk of the money.
Okay. All right, so I just sent over kind of what the feedback was from NACD regarding the initial proposal that we submitted. So if we can, if the directors and all of us take a look at that, and I'll come back. We can circle back to this, but I imagine soon, we'll need to move on it. But the board is in agreement that we should use the funding to host this board capacity training. Right.
Yes.
Good.
In addition to, reaching out to our outer island folks to have them come in and join us using.
There's a thumbs up, so without any objection, so move. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Erica.
Thanks, Dr. Quinn.
Good job on
And thank you, Mark, for that input as well. Okay.
it. Exciting.
Okay.
I'm like, where are we at? That was the GACD Technical Assistance Program. Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so we're at, Reppy? Is that where we're?
Okay. Yes, so just like the other NACD grants, we have a quarterly report due. I was able to receive the financial report from RCOG. We're about close to 50,000 expended. So we'll need to request additional funding from NACD since we're coming up to that $60,000 mark. But I just wanted to take this time to really briefly discuss some of the accomplishments so far, being that we are 7 months in. So 1 second, let me just get my notes. Okay, so for the REPI grant, we had 4 major tasks that we've identified. Task 1 was dedicated to enhancing our partnerships. So the objective was to strengthen collaboration between federal and state conservation districts or state agencies or conservation districts and private landowners. So the deliverables really encompass hosting quarterly outreach and biannual events. So our achievement to date is we have accomplished the biannual events. We held one in February as well as one in May, supporting the implementation of the long anticipated Guahan Sentinel Landscapes program. So we've provided financial and technical support for those meetings. Task 2 was dedicated to supporting the Guahan Sentinel Landscape designations. So the objective was to build up the partnerships to achieve the Guahan Sentinel Landscape designation. And what that really means is we've worked to strengthen the application in which Patrick Keeler and his group submitted, so that way Guam can get this Sentinel Landscape designation. For our deliverables, we held bi-monthly outreach and strategic planning sessions. So I often coordinated with Patrick and the GSL, the Guahan Sentinel Landscapes group, so that way we could package up this application and send through. I think Patrick should be submitting that soon. If not, yeah, he'll be submitting that. We had to strengthen the implementation plan, which was identified to be weak in the initial submission. Any questions so far? Are we tracking? I know this feels like a lot of words, but just stop me if any time, if you need any clarification. So task 3 is we wanted to establish a private landowner and agricultural producer network. Our objective was to engage with the agricultural producers and establish a GIS spatial mapping of resilient target areas. So we wanted to see a GIS map and connect with our ag producers. So thus far, we were able to get into an agreement with or work with UOG Drone Corps, in which they are using their drone technology to help us map out these areas and develop the GIS map. And then we've also brought on our conservation technician, Madeline. And Maddie and John have been going out and meeting with our agricultural producers. So I want to take this time to turn the floor over to Maddie to talk about how those site visits are going.
Okay, so I was tasked to schedule site visits with our already established members and able to make like physical folders for each member. And I still have to communicate with a lot of them to do site visits, but we were able this past 2 weeks, we were able to visit 3 farmers, and we were able to register 6 new farmers. So now we have a total of 16 registered. At the beginning, I think it was 10 or 11, and now we have 16 registered farmers. So now it's just a matter of, doing site visits and going back and.
Who are the 3? You said 3?
So we have, would you want me to tell you their names, or am I able to do that? Is it like not confidential? So we were able to pick up Josephine Burrito, that's John's contact. David Hedingo, which we have, he's the owner of the Valley of the Lari. So we're actually going to schedule tomorrow to go there. We're gonna
Ride the boat.
ride the boat to his farm. And then John was looking at the map and said, "Oh, I think he grows bananas. I think that's a banana tree."
Does he grow bananas? Or he's a banana?
They have some bananas,
Oh.
but that could be other, one of our other farms.
Oh, okay.
They're right next to each other.
So yeah, he said he was an established member already, but there's no like record of him.
Right.
So we gotta go back and get all the records, have him fill out everything again.
Yeah.
So he's considered, I guess, new. Jay Kanata, he's the chicken guy.
Mm.
He has a self-sufficient 2 farms. He has one at his house where he goes and he raises the chickens when they're young, from young to stage it, and then he brings them out to the farm in his 6-acre farm in NCS. That's where they go and roam around and stuff and eat. So that was pretty cool. He's pretty self-sufficient, so it doesn't seem we really needed much.
He's doing a lot of the stuff that they wanted to do already. Like NRCS, the conservation stuff. It's like
What's that?
he's doing a lot of the stuff that they want him to do already. He's like trying to close the loop. He's using like the chicken manure for
Yeah.
fertilizer. He's trying to like grow food to feed the chickens to close like the whole. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's making it pelleted,
Yeah, pelletizing is
from the
he's like growing these he's got like these fish where he has like these it almost looks like lily pads, but it's small. And he's feeding the fish the manure.
yeah, he's feeding the fish.
He's feeding the fish the manure, and
the
they're feeding
manure.
those plant
The
things.
fish water feeds the lily pad thingies that he's growing, and those lily pad thingies feed the chicken, and it's just like.
It's trying to close it. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a closed loop. Yeah, that's like his third. He's been trying other stuff too, like where he's like growing was that flies, to use the larvae to feed the chickens. Said it wasn't really working that well. It's pretty cool.
I guess now we were just talking about applying for like, I guess a windmill or solar energized
Yeah.
windmill.
For aircon and like the fire for the chickens and like the. I guess
So who was our actual, our existing members?
So we didn't, so our existing members, like that's why we still gotta go, because we kind of got sidetracked a little recruiting these new members. So we
In the
wanted-
workshop, we got 2 from the workshop.
Yeah, so we visited like most of the
Or
new
3.
members already. And then now we gotta go back and visit the establishment. So that's what I'm saying, like, you gotta balance.
Yeah.
Recruiting new members and at the same time, visit the, the established members too.
Existing.
Ooh, sorry, I just got a quick idea. Do we have like applications, at the feed stores? For Southern District for information there? Like,
I was
we gotta
asking
go to
her,
the feed stores. and
yeah,
We have like Southern Soil and like application information for that. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to, like, there's a workshop coming up. Oh, for the flyers, the workshop? Yeah, just like any of our outreach stuff, like, fertilizer.
That's a great idea.
Partner with Home Depot, wherever they need to go to have the information readily available there.
We should have some at Benson,
Yes.
the Guam Home Center. We need to be where there are. Yeah. Well, it's really great that we're at this point in our life with the Southern District. We have our staff and our team going out there and actually making those connections with the farmers and asking them questions. I bring this up because John, I really like this when he was saying, because John and Maddie, you guys are new, and you made the comment that these farmers know more than you about the programs. But it's a great thing because they do, and we're learning from them and vice versa. So thank you guys for taking the time and going out there down south to meet our farmers who are essentially our partners.
Well, keep it up. Just keep knocking down that list too, so.
Yeah, our goal is 188 farmers, and we'll get there. Okay, so thank you for that update. We're gonna talk about more the active district registry later, in terms of the client voters and whatnot, but I'll just get through this. The last task was the capacity building. The objective was to conduct outreach, education, technical assistance, and including conservation planning and practice implementation. Really the main deliverable or achievement to date is collecting stakeholder feedback during our May Guahan Sentinel Landscapes public session, where we asked the farmers, what are your successes in working with federal conservation programs, the challenges, and also the recommendations. So part of the task 4 was also gathering farmer perceptions as well as conducting the outreach. So we're halfway, but we've achieved a lot so far, and we want to continue on. Patrick and Adrian did approach and asked, I guess they're going to help us get more funding for multi-year under this REPI grant. So hopefully that works out, and I'll keep the board informed on that. But did anyone have any questions regarding the tasks? We are going to use some funding from the REPI to support the local work group that is coming up, being that it feeds into our tasks of enhancing partnerships.
Okay,
I did
Good.
have a, I did have a question under the REPI. I know,
Yes.
John, you created the GIS partnership with, agreement with BSP. That's under here, right? Under REPI. Is that under REPI? I'm just looking at the notes.
I'm not exactly 100% sure the funding source for it.
It's under REPI, Erica?
Yes, that's part of it. In an effort to establish our network, our producer network, we wanted to see what data sets are out there. And then also create our kind of have access to our own layer. And BSP is a great resource. So John, do you have any update on that? I know we were waiting for director input into the actual MOA that we've drafted.
Not much, really. I proceeded, but I'm just using, like for the, the maps for the farmers and stuff, I just been using Google Earth. So I just was waiting for everybody's feedback if they, because I don't really know. I know you mentioned like, our mechanisms, but I don't really feel qualified to, like, right. I don't know what to say exactly.
I see. I think, maybe set up you talked to Matt already. the deputy
I did,
director.
yeah.
I think he would be the best person to help you draft up the partnership agreement.
Okay.
I do know that in order to have one, it has to be specific, because it's very broad, like, we just need a base map, just to include specifically what is, what you need. And if it's like general base maps for this, and then what the purpose, so who, what, where, why, who it's for, within the partnership.
He did say he was gonna check, ask OTEC to the technology officer, the OTEC, the GovWam office, to get us like
Okay.
an account or something so that we could access what status is.
Does UOG have something like that set up? For GIS? Does UOG have the Guam GIS account?
I know
Like
Weary,
Weary?
I called Weary, I
Okay.
asked them, but they paid for their own. They said there's no UOG like
Okay.
license. They said they paid for their own license.
I think going through the BSP route might be like one way to do it, and definitely follow up to ask him on that, so you'll have access to different maps to use. So, and maybe set up another meeting with him and talk about the partnership agreements, show it in a draft, and then if he has questions, he'll give you specific.
Because I haven't showed him yet the agreement that we made. It was just a verbal thing that we did, and I wanted us to be set on this side before I showed it to him. I didn't want to show him anything you guys didn't want him to see,
Okay.
maybe, or.
So I'll go ahead and take a look at it and then.
Okay.
Do you have any information? Dr. Dula, do you have any information with the GIS mapping? You feel?
No, I have my own GovGuam account for QGIS, but yeah, I think we can just ask BSP to install QGIS, like the online version for us. I don't know. I think Department of Agriculture paid for my subscription, and I don't know. I think BSP has like a certain number of subscriptions that it could give out to every department. It's for a government entity. I think they should give it to us, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how it's decided. Um, but mine is no longer, actually, I haven't used it in over a year since I left Department of Ag. Might still be active, and I can just probably give you guys my password. I'll check if it's still active. They didn't kick me out.
Because you said it was QGIS, right?
Yeah, QGIS.
The one I was asking for is ArcGIS. I know QGIS is similar, but I don't have experience using it.
Oh,
But it's
even
probably
ARC. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
sorry, ARC. I meant ARC, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one I have experience with.
Sounds good, so. That's all I
Did
got.
we lose Erica?
She's testing.
Yes.
Oh,
Do you want it?
Oh.
So are we getting the ArcGIS from Dr. Dula, or are we
Well,
going?
I'll check if my account's still active. Um, Otherwise, I don't see why we can't just purchase it out of the grant. Yeah, if it's part of our objectives. Like, we don't have to get a free version. We just need access, or we don't need a free version from GovOne. We just buy it ourselves and just ask BSP to give us access to um their layers and their data sets.
So I did talk
Okay,
to,
so
sorry.
I'm sorry, I was under, is this program like 15,000? Because that's what they were.
Oh, it's like 4, I think, a year, but you can get like a discount for government. But
Oh,
OTEC said they'll give it to us.
But not only that, with the ArcGIS, you might be able to look into because they offer, free vouchers, travel vouchers to go to their Esri
Yeah,
conference.
Matt told me about that.
And that's happening now, an annual conference. So I know OTEC issues out some of those vouchers to key people that use the RGIS system, including like land management with planners. So that's one thing to look at. So that, different people within the districts can be spun up and use it.
Mhm.
We can have our own layers and we don't necessarily have to be dependent on different organizations for certain.
Our plan was to build our own layer, but then it was just to be able to reference like, like they have the watershed info where we could just reference it against our own layer to see like, but I was thinking about using the, like the drone for what they're doing, just overlaying that on our layer, because that one's way more detailed and accurate than the base map.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll need some training. Cool.
all right. Thanks, John. We'll work closely together to kind of see, and we'll work with Dr. Dula to see if we can get in too. But if we need the funding, yes, we have that available through the grant. We'll just see which option's most feasible.
Okay. Moving on to E. Southern Guam Feral Swine Program.
Okay, so we agreed to fund APHIS to the rest of the fiscal year. They did submit to us an agreement. We were able to review the agreement and we did have some changes. They indicated that we were going to take calls, but we are not going to take calls at this time. And so they were able to change that, as well as the period of performance being that we're starting kind of not on July 1st exactly. So I sent the revised amendment to the directors. And Mark, if you have any input, otherwise, if we can officially approve this so we can send it forward. Thank you for all the input. Even Director Arbon, thank you for reviewing that.
I motion to accept the agreement.
Okay. Second.
I second.
Okay, any discussion on this? Are we good? We're good, so without objection, so move. All right, let's get this thing going. Fine.
Okay,
We're okay, Feral Swine Perimeter Grant. Dr. Glenn, do you have anything on that? Any updates?
No, well, I guess for the people in the room that aren't already aware, I believe sometime last month, we had, I guess, our own little pocket meeting with some of the board members, to discuss bringing on Joe Takaro as an advisor or a co-PI, uh, on the project. And Joe Takaro was, willing to be a part of the, um, program, and he addressed his concerns, which more or less were the same that, Director Glenn Takai and I, and then Mike and everyone else had, with using NRCS specs and, I guess, not regulatory actions, but the way they, um, I guess, run their cost share program. Uh, so we met with Joe and the board members, and I guess put together several points, to address with NACD. Um, and I sent out an email, I believe, last month, at the beginning of June, and Caleb responded back and said they will work on it and get back to us. And I guess Caleb hasn't responded, since then. Um, yeah, I haven't been. I followed up with Chloe, Caleb, Jen, and I guess Chessa and Kanisha, yesterday, um, to see where they stand. Yesterday they also had a national kickoff meeting. So the North and, every other awardee attended, and they were basically just going over, um, I guess, the FAQ and procedures. All the different states and territories are at different stages of either, they're still working on their MOA, or they're already, um, awarding farmers, I guess money, to build their fencing system. I guess for us, we're in the group that is still working on our MOA, and they didn't tell me when Guam was, scheduled to have a meeting, but everyone that is in some sort of, level of disarray or trying to work out their MOA or specs, um, they are slowly putting together individual state meetings, with them. Hopefully, I'll hear back from them when we are scheduled, because, uh, I was hoping to start this program in September, and we're quickly approaching that. And it's kind of crazy because, um, some states have already been active for an entire quarter and are submitting, quarterly reports. Anyway, um, but from the discussions at the meeting yesterday, it seemed like a lot of other states had similar issues that we, or similar concerns that we had, about the cost share program, about using NRCS fencing specs, and about the repayment schedules. Uh, and it seems like they've worked it out since they're active already and, giving out, fencing awards. So I'm hoping ours will be soon. Like, we had a really long laundry list of, um, wants and needs in order for us to activate this program. So I don't know, maybe we dug ourselves into a hole a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they'll get back to and respond to my email soon.
So
That's it for me.
those other states that are wherever are they, what are they following? NRCS?
Yeah, so they're already working and filing for variances on their, the NRCS specs. So, and from talking with Joe and Glenn Takai, That's basically what we're gonna have to do too. Like we already mentioned, we have our own fencing spec program or our own fencing specs for Guam, what we want to do. And since we don't already have an established program, we have to follow NRCS guidelines. And if we want to change anything with the NRCS guidelines, we have to file for a variance, which the other states have already begun doing, and we will have to do the same. So at least we already have the plans, at least for the plans that Glenn and Joe developed already, and we're just going to submit that for consideration for variances.
So then we're just
Although,
waiting,
sorry, go ahead, Mike.
oh, so we're just waiting for their feedback?
Yeah, we're waiting for their feedback and for their acceptance of what we want to do. So one of the goals was to tell them that we have Joe Takaro on board, and he used to work for NRCS, and that he will conduct the training and the review and the approval of the CPA 52s and all the other compliance garbage.
Okay.
Because,
Nothing we.
sorry, just just to add on, like NRCS is not reviewing the other states' compliance agreements. Uh, they have people who are already trained, and they will sign off on it.
It's like, it's just so, not sad, but you know, a lot of the farmers, they wanna do something and they can't do anything without, the pig getting into their
Yeah.
stuff. Like, that would be the first thing is the
Yeah, they all-
fencing or anything to like start any kind of project.
Is it true it has to be an acre? The
What's
land,
that?
is it true that it has to be an acre, the land?
Well, that's what we've decided to allocate per farm.
Oh, okay. Could like smaller farms, they can't, so they can't,
Yeah, glad
They
we.
can.
oh, they can, okay, see, I
Yeah,
wasn't clear,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
so like, it's 1 acre max first. We're
Okay.
gonna issue out 1 acre max awards for the first round. And then if we have any money left over, then we will open up for funding again. Like if you have a half-acre lot, a quarter-acre lot, you can still apply. But we're only gonna, offer up to, an acre's worth of what we calculated per farmer. Or if you have 2 acres, we're only gonna pay for 1 acre.
But it's like you're saying everybody's interested, everybody that we've talked to,
Yeah.
they all have the same problem.
I mean, it doesn't have to, not a perimeter fencing, but even just the area of their place
Yeah.
where they can farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure this will be a very highly sought after program. If we just can just get it off and running. It'd be easy to get farmers to do the compliance stuff and get 90% of their fence built by us.
Just gotta get through the kinks of the program and then we'll get moving. Right, Glenn?
Yeah, hopefully soon, because like the next few months for me are gonna be crazy busy, and I just want to get this over with.
Okay. That's it, right? So, yeah,
Yeah, that's it for me.
okay, thank you. Moving on to the Pigburg pilot study. So, just to let you guys know that we did receive our shipment of the 5 additional traps that we ordered, the netting. And it, to our surprise, it came with a lot of the hardware that we needed. The only thing that we had to buy locally was the T-posts and those carabiners. I think that was it, right? That we got, Maddie? just the carabiner and the people. So that was a big plus for us. It came with those other sliding rod with the eye, all of that thing, it came with it. We were surprised that what were these boxes that we had on the side? We opened it up and it had like everything, the straps and all, yeah, so that was good. Made it a lot easier for us. So I'm just waiting for Glenn to kind of come back and we're gonna start putting up some traps, so. And you're gonna come out.
Yeah.
right in,
They do the mapping stuff. you're
Yeah.
saying.
Can you,
But-
let us know when that would be?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. being
Maybe
there.
we'll try and do it on the Saturday so that, you know,
Oh, yeah.
everybody's free from, you know, like you and Martha, right? And because it's gonna be down in Telefoco and around the area, so. Be good. But yeah, we're really looking forward to getting that. I was down at my farm today and they're all over, they're coming right up to my own big fence pens and eating the breadfruit trees that are around, all the fruit that keep all there, right there. So we're ready to start. Okay, Erica?
Okay, well, being that, our pig brig pilot study is underway, we'll go ahead and request the additional funding, from BBMR to support our feral swine program. Okay, so, with nothing further, we'll go ahead and move to the stress grant. So we have this stress grant. It expires August 30th of this year, so just next month. Although we've met our deliverable of hosting at least one workshop event, which was the QuickBooks training, we did want to host a number of different outreach events that would support the grant objectives. So we coordinated, or we're collaborating with the University of Guam Cooperative Extension, Miss Phoebe Wall, and we'll be hosting a workshop at the Sisters of Mercy in Mangilao on elevated raised beds for limited mobility. Let me share with you all the flyer for your approval. But really it's Chairman and John and Maddie who are taking the lead on this. And it's really exciting. I love how the sisters have reached out asking for assistance to start farming, but yeah, so this is the flyer. Phoebe asked that she be the POC, and that's fine, and we have a QR code. This is perfect for anyone who has bad knees and bad back and would like to learn about how they can garden with the elevated raised beds. So we are going to change the logo, though, the Department of Ag logo to the ADS logo. That was kind of the request. So yeah, we really want to get this out, being that it's just next Saturday. But we are looking at hosting 15 people. From what I hear, the location is excellent. John and Maddie and Chair are gonna be working really hard this weekend and constructing some raised beds. So, please come and support. Okay, but, if everything other than the logo looks fine, we'll go ahead and distribute this out tomorrow.
There, I don't know, where is the Sisters of Mercy?
There's a map. I made a map. So if you,
At the registration?
yeah,
QR
if
code
you
it?
go there, there's a map to get there. It's right
Oh,
across.
that's, yeah, right next to Butler, the Commons nursery.
The baseball side.
The baseball field,
Infinite
it's
Pride.
right behind it, up there, you.
All right, so that's next Saturday, and then the following Saturday, we have the Farmer Wellness Retreat. So this is in partnership with Synergy Studios Guam. Being that this is the stress grant, we wanted to host an event that would help farmers manage their stress and improve their daily routines. So it can get really hot and heated out there. But we are looking at hosting this retreat down south, all the way in Molesu. So we can service both the east side, west side, right in the middle. But we're looking at maybe 20 farmers to come and be a part of this retreat. So spread the word. It's the first of its kind that I know of. I don't know, Mark, if you've heard of anything like this, but it'll be nice to see the farmers getting some yoga in, but it's not going to be too intense, too crazy. It's from 3 to 7, and I know it's late, but this is an ideal time, being that it's really calm and we get to catch the sunset. So there will be a dinner provided by, I believe it's a plant-based meal by Fauna Cultures. And yeah, it's a really nice agenda. So come down and spread the word to those southern farmers that you know. And the location is really nice too. It's, I think, at one of the beach houses down south. I don't know if you've seen it, Director Yvonne, have you seen it?
I think I've seen that, but maybe did you want to put like a tire for people to dress if they're coming? And if they can't make it at 3, do they have to make it at 3 o'clock? Or is this like a can come afterward kind of thing, or it has to be 3?
Yeah, I think it's a set like program agenda as we'd walk through, but we'll definitely add the attire bit in the registration form so that they're aware of what to wear. But that's a great idea. Okay, I know. Mhm.
I could promote this other Saturday workshop that we have. We could,
Oh yeah, that'll be great. This Saturday, right?
and I'm actually doing raised beds this Saturday.
Oh,
So
nice.
maybe we can set up one of those raised beds as a trial before the following weekend. But yeah, we
That's
could, I think we have about close to 50 people coming to our workshops every weekend. And
Thank you, Mark.
I'm doing one the same day as Phoebe. But I'll talk to her because I don't want to compete. We're trying not to compete with others. We're trying to get one workshop every Saturday.
So you're talking, when you say the raised bed, you're talking about the planting, not the construction.
Yes, constructing raised beds in ground. That's what I'm going to be talking about. But then I also have the publication that I co-wrote with Phoebe on the elevator. So that was for the.
Do you have any like specs on those things?
Not necessarily specs, but the main thing is the width of the bed. It could be as long as you want.
Yeah.
But the width is for
Or
adults.
even with reach,
Yeah,
right?
you can reach without having to
Yeah.
step into the.
Which would be what, like 4 feet from that?
Children's beds usually 2 to 3
Yeah.
feet for the school gardens. About, for me, I'm about 4 feet.
Yeah, 4
Because
feet.
of the each two.
Yeah, on each side. What about the depth?
Now it depends on what crops you grow. Usually, most vegetables 6 inches or so into that about a block, right? And if you're going for bigger plants, if you're using blocks, 2 blocks. But usually 1 block height.
Shoot.
But if it's off the ground,
Oh, like this, I never tried
Elevated.
the elevated one. So the only thing I've seen was farm to table. They did a whole bunch of that using recycled pallets. However, the wood doesn't last so long, especially with the water. That's one of the issues using.
yeah, so I was looking at those things, right? Like for the main structure, the treated lumber, pressure treated. And then when you make the box itself, you can use something else, or, use the same treated, but you're using, you have a barrier there to
Yeah.
separate it from
The liner.
yeah.
Yeah, so like when I was doing some of the children's healthy living, but they have elevated raised beds, but then they also, same thing, is that they're putting a liner in, filling it up with a water solution and doing things, automatically. So same concept. But yeah, okay, if you can send me those files and we can help you recruit, with our workshop participants. And we have two
Wow.
in coming to that.
That'll be awesome. Okay, and then our last two kind of events is kind of a spin-off from the NACD's Conservation Coffee Series. So this is really an effort to recruit our Southern District farmers to register. We're gonna have coffee set up and talk about the district and kind of the benefits of why they should become a Southern District member. We'll talk about some of the different conservation programs available and how they can sign up really for the USDA and RCS federal programs. And then Mark, I don't know if you have any or if there's like any signups for the WSARE grant opportunities, but that would be awesome to include. And then just creating this space where ag producers and the district can come together and network. So we're gonna have two sessions, one in Inalahan and then one in Agate. There's gonna be breakfast and coffee and yeah, just a lot of networking. We'll have some resources available. But it's, yeah, again, it's just a way for us to kind of sign up more farmers and so that they can learn about the district and the programs available to them. And hopefully this is something we can continue on with different themes as we go, maybe on a quarterly basis. But we'll try it out and hopefully we get a good turnout. And yeah, Mark, if we can promote this as well.
Definitely.
All right, so that's basically it for the flyers. And we'll go ahead and distribute that out first thing in the morning, being that some of the events are quickly approaching. Okay, so just a few more things on the stress grant. We a lot of the funding that we had went to purchase of supplies. So we'll be having a lot more merch that is really meant for our partners, some hats and whatnot. And we're even looking at getting a pop-up tent, and we're close to expending a lot of the funding that we started with. So great job to the board. Well, with that, I think that concludes the report. I think by the end of July, we should have all of the merchandise in. And yeah, I hope we can get the word out to promote our workshop events under this grant initiative. Any questions, ideas, recommendations, concerns? Okay.
I wish I could attend them all.
Okay, thank you, Erica. We'll move on to the G. We gotta keep moving here because boy, I think there's still a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't feel like a lot of new business yet. Okay.
We're halfway.
Okay, so G is the NACD summer meeting, August 10th to the 13th, 2024.
Yeah.
Just to review and approve the travel authorizations, Erica.
Yes, I'll be sending that out, but yeah, no further action needed right now until I can send out the TAs.
Okay. Moving on to H, NACD Pacific Region meeting. This is September 11th to the 13th. So this one we need board approval for the representatives for the attendance. Now, this specific region, remember, this is our region. And, we are, they are requesting that we also help present something there in one of the, breakouts. Or present something within our region that we've accomplished. And so we just need to decide who's gonna go. I know I need to be there because, but my reimbursement, so that's good, it saves. So I think we can at least get, we need Erica. She's the one gonna handle a lot of that for their presentation thing. And other duties, and then at least one board, if not. Erica, what do you think? Are you able to go, Yvonne, or?
No. I think my status right now in terms of how.
Okay, so I know Glenn Takai, the time frame coincides with his NGL line, so he can't go. Is there anybody? Dr. Glenn, are you willing to go? Short meeting?
No, sorry. I'm teaching next semester.
Okay, so what about, well, we can ask Martha, right, if she wants. That'd be good to get another director.
I won't know my travel
Yeah.
status. When is the last day to confirm this, Erica? Hoping,
Well, it's September 11th is the conference or the meeting rather. So maybe about like the first or second week of August, would be ideal.
first or second week of August.
So why don't we just make a motion to decide at least to say who's going? And potentially if we can find another board member to participate, that would be great. If that happens, it's already decided. Okay.
Sounds good. I make a motion to approve of Chairman Mike Uggin and Administrator Erica Pangolinan and one additional board member, sending the board member to attend the NACD Pacific Region meeting from September 11th through the 13th, 2024.
Okay. Second? Glenn?
Second.
Thank you, Glenn. No further discussion? So without, shoot, what is it? Without objection, so moved. Thank you. We'll move on, we'll talk to Martha about that and see if she can, or even you, right, you're gonna follow up if
Yeah.
possible. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, moving on, NACD poster contest.
Okay, haven't begun yet coordination yet on this, but the school year is opening, so I think that was our target was to start promoting the poster contests with the new school year, so I'll get a DOE contact to see how we can launch the poster contest. Any directors want to be a part of this?
What was
initiative?
Can you repeat that one more time?
The poster contest. Kind of want to coordinate or partner with DOE to see if we can start getting the poster contest with the theme May the Forest Be With You going. So that way we can submit a Guam. Yeah, have a Guam submission for the annual meeting. But this is the first time, so I just kind of need to look more into how we'd like to go about this poster contest, but
Not really into the schools. So
We do
maybe
have a couple of
We have
in
a
our,
couple teachers we
in
can-
our midst.
we can with kids and we can revisit this again. When do we,
Yes.
want to start getting this done?
I'd say at least by September, no later. Or October would be fine as well. Being that the submissions are due to NACD by December. So we have a good amount of time. I think I'm not really familiar with poster contests timelines, but being that it's a fresh new school year, I'm sure it will work out just fine.
That
Couple
due in
months.
November. Thought it was November.
I can double check. And then we can provide the update next meeting.
So we'll talk about this later when we get the rest of our board in.
Yes, because I imagine we might have to still coordinate with the north somehow, some way. Being that there's only one submission from Guam. So we'll probably have to get with them. Let's see.
Okay. Okay, moving on, thanks for that. Southern District Active Registry. We have a status update on that registry.
So I know a lot of it was previously discussed, but during last meeting, we talked about how we wanted to, we are keeping client folders. So Maddie, do you have a listing of what we're including in the client folder?
So just an example here, we have the initial member registration. Then we have the conservation plan worksheet. That includes a lot of information, water data, pesticide use or water quality, and then the next one would be the soil sample sheet from UG. And yeah, that one we have to collect. Yeah, I didn't start on this yet because
We're not
I
sure.
think we're not sure, I think we need
Well, then-
for that. And then, yeah, just the note page, and then supposed to be a list of upcoming events that, will be coming, what's coming up and everything. So, yeah, that's basically the.
Nice. Yeah, so it's still a work in progress, but we wanted to ask the board if there was any other critical information that we should be keeping. But John, he's also been working on the mapping aspect. So did you want to share a sample, John?
Okay, it's just with the Google Earth, so it's not really. Let me show you. Sorry.
So I think while you're searching that, I did have, a thought. What was the first page of the folder?
This
that you
is
had?
this is like, to become like the number,
Oh,
initial number, yeah, mission membership.
So, I was thinking to have like, a list of important contact information and numbers, like NRCS, the district, contact person and number, USDA, just for any kind of like information that they need so they can quickly reference it when they open it up. I think that, or like website information, like stuff like that, within their folder. Like quick access.
For their
that
own
would-
copy or for our message?
Oh, is that's in there? Okay,
This is
that's
for- this is-
our stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
I
is
thought
our
it was
stuff
for
that
them.
we take-
So
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
good idea, though, to
Okay.
provide them
We
with
can-
something like that.
Yeah, like maybe in,
Contact.
like even just like a small card of that they can keep in their wallet. Oh, that's it.
Usually has it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's great.
So it's called the Guam Agriculture Resources. This one was just recently updated June
Wow.
24th as numbers change.
Yeah, people change.
Wow.
So you can take this and if you want to print it.
Okay,
another, but we can add up.
Yes, I have the federal, non-federal, the university.
at the two.
Ready, John?
yeah, sorry. So like I said, I was using Google Earth, so it's not the best quality, but once we get the ArcGIS, then it'll be much better. So this is Jay Kanata's land. And I used another app to reference his the way his lot is shaped. Um,
Is that how, up on the hill?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Are you referencing a DLM parcel map?
no, I just put it's not accurate. I was using Erica was gonna show me later on how to use it, but what I've been using is this app. It's called Regrid. Yeah, Regrid. It's it has the it shows like the shape and like it'll tell you like the size. So one thing too is like some of what they're saying like it doesn't always match. Like I'll say it's like an acre or whatever, and it's not full acre or something. But so yeah, that's just like a basic map of his land, and then he does have erosion concerns. So like I said, it's basic, but the water's coming from the top, and it's cutting channels through his land, like on the right, and it's going down, and then the channels are like it's like maybe a foot and a half deep, 2 feet deep.
Have you looked at the FEMA firm maps?
No, I haven't. But he said there's like right above his land, there's like an aquifer or something, or like he said it fills up and it just comes over and runs into his land.
That's Santa Rita.
Yeah, and it's on the hill like you were saying. Yeah. So I could do that, but it's hard with Google Earth to map like their crops and stuff. And then this was I think this is the oh wrong one. Sorry. But this is Mark Polino in Rahan. So this is his land. The this is his parcel. And then he said that this is his family's land, but this is where his crops are at. So his parcel is 10.5 acres. And then I think he said this is around 5. But he said it's his family's land. So there's some like, we're running across some things where it's, it's like,
Yeah.
not 100%.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
Mine's like that.
I think you need to check with DLM.
And then this is his erosion concerns. It's pretty bad. Like supposedly UOG built on the top. They built like some research place or something.
Yeah.
And his grandfather gave easement. And then when they did that, it was fine. But over time, it eroded where those are like channels going through his that are like 4, 5 feet deep, like running through his land. So yeah, and he's also having problems with pigs, where he's really interested in. Yeah. But it's just some basic stuff that I.
But it's just this, he's, farming on somebody else.
He said
that?
He's farming on somebody else's property, so I don't know if he's, if he's.
Yeah.
Fencing, like it's not gonna be.
Did he say who owns that park?
He said it's his family's land, but then in Regrid, it doesn't show as it's anyone's parcel. It's weird. So I don't know if it's government land or I'm not sure. But once Erica shows me, then yeah, the land management stuff will be more accurate.
And if it's not assigned to anyone, that's where DLM has to.
So that the red area there, is that on the hillside?
It's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Like
bottom there is
There's
a
a
blue
slope.
area.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just some basic. They get much better with once you get the software.
So that connects all the way up to the roadway, right, for the EHEP subdivision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also
I mean, not subdivision, but the experimental station.
Yeah. There's also other farms on the top that I
Yeah.
saw. I don't know who they are.
Are there any homes in that area? I mean, I see
Yeah,
one to the
there's
right,
a-
but is it just a ranch?
No, there's houses. So it's I don't know. Let me see.
I know Jake clearly see his house, but with
Who?
Jake's house, you can clearly see his house, and then, but I don't see structures or a permanent structure in that area where
Talking about Jay.
Marcolino is.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah, I'm using Google Earth Pro, but then I use this app to reference the
The Greek.
parcel. Yeah. Sorry,
when was the update, or when's the update for the regrid? Like, what's the latest,
I'm not sure. I'm just using it as my internet's really slow.
so I think
Wow.
BSP allows us to get the parcel layers. Their their layer that they share with us as part of the partnership. You'll be able to get the accurate.
Yeah, and not only that, like when I make the map, instead of estimate, these are estimates, like the red lines are estimates, like I looked at, but I can enter the coordinates where, yeah, but even then it's not like 100%, but it's way more accurate than, this is just visual, like type looking at it thing. But yeah, there's houses and other farms up there and stuff.
Yeah, that's more land trust.
Cool.
We visited two other places, but it's not.
All right. Thanks, John. So that would be something that we'd include, also their land map or location map of their farm. Kind of neat to see. But I think another question that we had, being that we are aggressively, actively trying to reach out and recruit our members to sign up with us, how does the board feel about maybe sponsoring a soil test, the initial soil test for our farmers, our members? And I think Director Glenn Takai is on, and also Dr. Dula might have to leave in a few.
Yeah.
Okay, how much would the cost be to sponsor that?
I think the basic test is like $20. I could be wrong, Mark. I don't, or Maddie.
We
Yeah,
have,
about $20.
we have what, how much? 16, right? 16 farmers right now, so those.
32,
Oh, we have 32?
300 and, yeah, 330. So
I'm
far.
okay with that.
They've all been interested.
Yeah.
Before.
So I think we should get this started.
I'm sorry. Director Glenn Takai, are you on? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. I've been here. I know I
Okay.
got knocked off when I had bad connection, but I jumped right back on.
Okay, thank you for joining. Yeah, I think Dr. Dula has to leave soon, so just want to make sure we have quorum, but we're just so happy you're on too.
Yeah, sure. And then I would share about the I know from when we did the soil health series, I think we only officially had one person submit, which was the one I submitted actually last month for
Yes.
Frank Kanata. So that is a basic $20 test for the ones that we had supported. But I was thinking, like, I know we're trying to do the different workshops, which I know one of the ones we were trying to do with that whole Mark and Dr. Bob with the grant. I know I was going to try to see if we could do how to actually understand what a soil test is, how it could be applicable to the farmers. Because when we did the soil health series, I know Dr. Galabi was like very, very explicit on, what like the soil composition and things like that were, but I think it was a little over a lot of our participants' heads. And I know that me and Mark, as we try to do the demonstration out in the back at Inarahan, it was more applicable to getting the garden started. But we actually said that if there was people that were interested in the soil piece, that we would kind of do it later. And so we never really did that. And I think a big part of that is why people didn't really like take advantage of us paying for that. And I like when you asked us what is our thoughts with the soil testing. I think we should do it. I mean it's not much money for what value it provides, and then it shows support to all of our southern farmers that are willing to get on. But I would really like to do something more like explaining to them what a soil sample and how it could be used. And I know Mark and I are, we could do that. That's something I could we could simply do without having to, I know we wanted to show the respect to Dr. Galabi being the soil scientist, but I think from an applicable standpoint, like, reading off like the basic test that has the $20, we can explain to them what the organic matter percent means, what phosphorus means, what potassium means, what pH means, and then calcium to magnesium. What do they mean when they get numbers that they read? And then we can actually make the recommendations. If, for example, they have a reading on any of those nutrients, we can actually calculate and tell them on their farm, if you want to farm peppers or eggplant or tomato or watermelon or whatever, right? We can use the fact sheets that come from UOG and then say, this, according to your soil test, this is how much of this fertilizer you should put into your farm, or this is how much manure you should put into your farm if you're going to use both. We can actually break it down to the number of pounds in a 100-foot row, or a 200 or 300-foot row per se. So I think if we have a workshop or a training thing on that and get those southern farmers to like attend that, then I think that would be like, okay, I want a soil test, and then we would pay for it. But
Yeah.
sorry, that was long-winded for the answer. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, Ari. So yeah, that's how I think about it.
Yeah, I agree, Glenn, too, but I'm just thinking, what was why was it only one farmer there? So was it the plan that they were supposed to go and get their sample, right? But what about?
Yeah.
What if we found a way to assist them in taking the samples from their farm?
Yeah,
Something
so we offered that. Remember, we offered that in that week, if they needed help, we actually bought their buckets, we bought their hand trowels, we bought the baggies that Director Yvonne and Director Yvonne and Ari put together with the help of Rita. Like their whole kit was made available, and then we also made our contact numbers available if they needed help for us to physically get out there and collect it. Like over on Frank Kanata's farm, I physically went out to that farm and helped Kyle, his son, take the soil sample, and then I actually brought it to the University of Guam for them to submit it. So we were willing to do it all, and supported them all. It's just I really think that they weren't so sure what it was for and how beneficial and how valuable it could be. And then some of them that may not have been like familiar, I think some of them were probably like trigger shy. They were like, never mind, I don't want to call, and bother them. So, we gave out the handouts too that showed like the W and X formation. It's an actual fact sheet that's provided by the cooperative extension where Mark is at. And then they have it not only at extension, but it's online. We have the digital copies from Clancy. It's pretty explicit. It's pretty straightforward, but I do think that it can be intimidating if you've never done it. And then on top of that, if you don't really know how much it can benefit you, then they're just going to be like, okay. After the workshop was done. So that's just my guess as to why it wasn't. But I think we did. I think we presented saying we'll help them do it. Even that, I think we gave them like that whole week or something, or 2 weeks even. Call us if you just need help, and we'll even come out and help you do it.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to be a little bit more proactive to do that. Make the call ourselves, right? And then like schedule a time to go out there. But talking about the value for the farmer, right? The price of fertilizer is like sky high right now. So told them that this thing can tell you exactly how much you need instead of just dumping sacks of it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be a big, so they can understand that more. That would man, fertilizer is super expensive, and
Yeah. So I know an idea that we had was we were going to do the and I had a like a run-in conversation with Mark. I think Mark's on. And I know the thing that we had going with the RIA grant for the North and Southern districts was part of our thoughts was to kind of do that in one of these workshops, but things changed a little. And I know Mark's been doing that pretty much with for the university on the Saturdays, the ones that you guys have been attending. But Mark did say that, when I guess that stuff's done, that we could kind of revisit that. So I don't know, maybe we can kind of get a little working committee to see how we can get that thing going and revived again to where, yeah, that'll still be in there. Cause I know, Mark, that could be something that we could do like really, really simple. I mean, it's more applicable than it is like, classroom level doctor, explanation type style stuff.
Okay,
So were you recommending we offer free soil testing kits at the new membership drive for the conservation coffee? Is that what you said? To new
Yeah,
members?
yes, and also just as a benefit of signing up with the district is we'll pay for their initial soil test, and like what Director Glenn was saying, maybe kind of sit down with them, whether 101 or through a workshop to kind of explain what their soil test means relative to their farm operation. I mean, just so that way they can start getting they may know it, or I just think it's great data for us as well, to have and collect, and I don't know, are soil tests good for, is that something that you have to collect every year or as your field changes? Is there an expiration date?
Yeah, no, it's recommended every time we put a crop down. I know, but not every farmer practically does that. But I mean, the better, the more you do it for each subsequent crop that, because we know we're expected to rotate our crop, and then of course a crop requires a um different nutrient content. At least with the NPK, meaning nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and then also some crops actually when you rotate out, it does require a different pH. So for the most part, right, if you're trying to really hit it right on, and then after
Mhm.
each crop field, the certain nutrients that are used up, we don't often know what's left, what bound phosphorus. We don't know what phosphorus bound to the soil and what was used up. Organic matter is going to change, and that's how we rate how much nitrogen is there. Um, and then, like I said, even with the potassium, we just don't know from crop to crop. So if we're done with the field, and then if we're using cover crops, we don't know actually how much that changed. With what cover crop we used. So it's recommended when you do a new crop each time, and like I said, I know most people don't do it because of one, I don't think that they understand the value of it, or even know how to read it, right? But the cooperative extension exists to interpret it. So like even if they don't know how to read it, like and then at that time I know we had Mark on board. Joe Takaro had said he'll read whatever that comes out, and interpret it for people, and he'll make the time to. So did Jesse Bomba and myself included. So we had like me, Mark, Joe Takaro, and Jesse Bomba that were able to interpret the results when they came out. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean we're supposed to, and I think the more we do that, the more it'll show complete. That's high level conservation at on the ground. So that would be a really good thing, good data, good stuff to have and show.
Yeah, and I think maybe for just to start out with our current members that we have registered, maybe offering the soil test and then getting it interpreted. But I'm not sure how that capacity, I mean, is UOG Cooperative Extension, are they, do they have the time
Oh,
to
that's
dedicate?
that's part of that's part of their job. Like
Okay,
once
so
the
they
soil
have to
sample
be
is submitted to the
appointed.
soil lab, it's the
Mhm.
extension agents that are the ones that are to interpret it for the farmer.
I mean, I personally, if it was me, like if I was to get a soil test and then whoever comes back and is like, all right, so this is what your soil test is looking like based on what you're growing. I mean, I feel like that's that would be helpful for me
Yeah.
personally as a
Yep.
somebody.
I think Mark's online. I don't know how it gets
Mark, what do
assigned
you?
to who. I don't know who get assigned to it. Like, but let's say for example, when Frankie Kanata's sample's ready, when Clancy does it upstairs or whoever's doing it at the soil labs, when the results come out and the paper's printed, like I know that somebody down at extension is the one that is, or is the one that interprets it. However, I don't know how they assign that. I think maybe Mark might be able to give info on that.
Yeah, there's really no assignment. Usually, like, yeah, when it comes up from the research side of like Clancy just gives you back the results, right? So it's like going to the doctor, getting your
Yeah.
lab, and you look at this paper and all these numbers and you don't understand. So the could do is for this group of farmers, is if we could have a list of everyone that's submitting, and upon their testing coming back, we could actually set up appointments with them with several of our agents here, because we got two new faculty as well, other than the ones Glenn mentioned earlier. We got Dr. Bob Babakwa as well, who can read soil samples, and then we also got Robin Kinwood on board with us as an extension agent. So there's many of us, but what we could do is funnel it through at least a point of contact, which could be me. And then when the farmers come back, we could just set up appointments with any of our agents downstairs. So that's not a problem. And like Glenn said, that's part of our job for this. So we have really no, in extension, there's no soil scientist or soil science agent. It's just up at the research side. But most of us downstairs a lot of them are horticulturalists by trade. So any of us can read that for them. So it's just a matter of setting up appointments with one of the agents. And in regards to the workshop, this is something easily that can be done. It's really up to you guys on how do you want to do it. Do you want to have them get all their soil samples first and we can come out, or we could just have a workshop just on the importance of soil samples? And we could have some like track or like some mock results on how to read those and how to determine how much fertilizer to apply into your field. So what I could say from the extension side is we're willing to do the workshop, and we're also willing to do the reading and the one-on-ones with them as well.
Could I ask, do landowners qualify for the soil test if they're not farming? You know what I mean? Because landowners can register with us, right?
And anybody can go and apply for a soil test, whether they're a farmer or not. Or I mean, literally, if you come into that office with the soil in your bag and you say, I'm gonna pay 20, whatever, because there's different rates for different things you want. What we're asking for is the basic. So the basic has like $20 and has a list of different things they'll do. I believe it's organic matter, phosphorus and potassium, and then pH, and then calcium and magnesium. That's that basic one that's 20. So whether or not you're a farmer or not, they'll just say, hey, you're coming in, you have $20. And because remember, soil samples are not only just for farmers, they're different people that are doing different, different things that they need to know what's in that soil. So yeah, you don't have to qualify for anything. You just pay a fee.
One of the site visits, they're not farming. That's all I was asking.
Well,
One of the site visits, what?
They're not farming. One of the site visits that we went to.
Oh yeah. And that's okay. But if they want one, they can always just go in and get one.
Okay. Sorry, guys, but we really need to keep moving. So are we gonna decide about this soil sample offering to our members?
You need a motion?
Yeah, let's do it. Or, I think it'd be great. I mean, we can think about it a little bit more in terms of how we go about it, but I definitely think that if Maddie and John and our team is going out, we could potentially provide assistance in collecting the soil sample and bringing it to UOG and waiting for those results to come back and then connecting them with Mark to get them their results further analyzed and maybe see if they're interested in a workshop, because I think the end goal would be, getting them on a conservation plan for nutrient management. But that's just the thought. But I think we have 15 people, that's 15 people we know that we'd get a soil sample in for and an interpretation for.
Okay,
I make a motion to move forward with sponsoring our registered farmers, as well as are we doing landowners as well?
Whoever our
Yes, okay.
registered members are,
To all our members,
if they, especially if they request.
and upon request.
Okay. Glenn, did you hear that? You want a second?
Yeah, I second. Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay. All right, no other discussion? Without objection, and so moved then? And we can always decide, like you said, about the process of how we go about it, so. Yeah, we train these guys here, right here, so when they're at the farm, they can just do it right away, because it only takes minutes, right? To get a sample.
Gotta get them trained.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, we gotta move on, because we're already over the 2 hour mark. Where are we at?
Digital archives network.
Digital archives, yeah.
Still work in progress. I'll keep the board updated on that.
Right, moving on to new business, NRCS and NACD leadership visit to Guam. We need to confirm dates and agenda for the visit, for hosting and discussion on point. And identify some goals on that.
Okay, in short, just know that the chief and the president of NACD, they will be coming out. The range of dates is September 19th and the 20th. And then also again on the 23rd and the 24th, they're gonna go and visit Saipan and Rota and Sinamai. So that's the expected date that they'll be here. We're gonna try to see if we can coordinate a visit with them and the governor, and then preparing for the board capacity training. So we'll definitely keep you all informed as soon as we know more, as things are still being confirmed.
Yeah.
But have those dates on your radar.
There's ongoing discussions on the overall thing, so. Still not like, still up here, we haven't really gotten to the nitty gritty too much, so. But yeah, it's gonna be a big event for us again, like I said earlier. It's gonna be great. Okay, we'll move on to B1 local working group, August 2nd at the Hilton Hotel. Yeah, director committed to attend, discuss preparation of the meeting, review the agenda. Erica, you wanna? go
Okay,
through?
so just everyone's going to make this, right? Director Vaughn, you'll be able to attend, but in your capacity as a northern representative for them. Or is it something that you have to take leave on? And then Mark, you received the save the date, right? All the save the dates came out. We'll be sending out the formal invitations on Friday so you can RSVP, but it's gonna be a 2 to 5 actual meeting session, and then 5 to 7 we're gonna have the networking component. We are hiring a facilitator, but it's not a facilitator that's going to be physically here, but he's providing resources in terms of designing our agenda and whatnot. This is a share cost with the Northern District, so everything will be 50-50 as we done in our collaborative efforts. But yes,
Yeah, this one's coming up fast.
August 2, block it off. And it's gonna be it's a really great agenda. It's not, I know Director Glenn, we did a great job in facilitating the last local work group meeting. So this time around, we're really just gonna jump right into identifying the priority goals and areas for Guam, and maybe building an initiative, but I'll send the agenda for your review. And maybe the board can just have a formal motion to share costs and expenses associated with the local work group.
Good, thank you.
Need a motion?
Oh, okay. motion.
Or the with the north.
What is the amount of the cost share?
We're estimating about 2,500 each. Our portion will be supported by the REPI grant.
I make a motion to approve of the cost share with the Northern District for the estimated amount of 2,500 for the Guam Local Working Group on August 2nd, 2024 at the Hilton Guam.
Nice second.
Okay, thank you. No more discussion without any objection, so moved. Thank you. Okay. Going to see Southern SWCD branding and marketing.
Okay, so I know I've been going back and forth with Director Yvonne on this. I'm trying to figure out what our branding is going to be. But we'll go ahead and discuss this if it's okay with this board, when we have a full board.
Okay,
Sounds good.
can do that. Okay. Moving on. Item number 7, board correspondence.
No correspondence, to report at this time that I know of, unless the directors have.
Nope, we do. Do we have any, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, oh.
Oh, Assembly of Planners.
Oh. For the
Oh.
board correspondence?
Oh, I think that's an announcement, but that did come out as an invite.
Oh, it did. Okay, I'm not aware. So, did you want to say that then? Mention that then for the board correspondence?
We did receive an invite to attend or save the date for the Assembly of Planners. I'll forward it to the board members.
What days are that?
That's August 8th.
Aye.
Remember, you guys are off island. So for those who are on island, please register for that and attend. There's a lot of information and a lot of resources pertaining to GIS, public access.
Yeah, you guys can attend, right?
Yes, definitely. So as long as you register, you're going to be in.
That'll be good. So I guess that takes the public
And then
announcements.
what's really good about this, I wanted to mention is the networking opportunities.
Yeah.
Because all of the heads of the agencies, the directors, the assistant directors, planners,
Planners.
the architects, all of them usually attend these, and so it'll be good to be in contact with them. And it's the Hyatt, so there's lunch, breakfast and lunch, pastries and lunch.
Right, thank you for that. Public comments, announcements, nobody's here, I guess, so we're good announcement. We took care of that. So moving on, next meeting will be Wednesday, August 21st. So Erica, did you want to talk about the time of the meetings?
Yes, is 5 p.m., I mean 4 p.m. Still a good time for the directors to meet? And
That, like you guys.
I would say for now, yeah, I'm okay with.
okay, we just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
For
I think-
me, for me, it's challenging to try to get there because remember I'm at Inarahan and the bell rings at 3:30. And so I'm usually like having to try to get out quickly. I don't know if I'm gonna have a 7 period prep this coming semester or this year. I won't know my schedule until I guess when school starts. I don't have any insight to that. But I mean, if you guys are able to kind of get it going and then I trickle in later as on those days, that's fine.
Well, why don't you
But
let us know
yeah,
about your schedule? That's the issue.
Would 4:30 be better? I mean,
yeah, definitely 4:30. I mean, I can guarantee because usually when I know I have a meeting, then I try to like start packing it. Like on that particular day, I'll try to end earlier with the kids on that last period, start kind of closing out a little earlier, and then like I'm usually ready as soon as like there's like 3:25. Like the kids know, I'm like, hey guys, I gotta cut it. I just got a meeting today, so I'm gonna try to. So what I do is like as soon as that bell rings, I'm actually even outside my door, like around like 3:28, 3:29. We're like lined up outside. I lock my door and then like I'm ready to go as soon as the bell rings and I release them and I get in the car and go. So when there's no issues really, like I could make it there by 4, but it's not like I gotta really hustle. But I mean it's if that's just what works best for everybody, I'll still continue to do that. But if it's like maybe like 4:10, 4:15 even, that would just make it a little easier. But it's really, I mean, I could do whatever. It's been working. Our team's been doing pretty good thus far. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. It's not, if it's not that bad to, maybe start a little
Just let us know
few
if there's
minutes
a
later.
problem. We can adjust,
Okay.
so I guess we can just stick to it right now and then we'll take it as it goes.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that said, motion to adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
Second, Glenn. No,
Okay. It's like, huh?
no objection. So adjourned.
Nice job. Thank you.
Thank you. Teachers.
Good night.
Thank
Well.
you.
Good night.
Okay. Thanks.